is Kiahonfire, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. You're probably going to notice there's some massive changes in Conan today. An absolutely huge update 2.2 came to us today. And one thing you're really going to notice is the stamina changes. The stamina, shields have been changed. There's a new building upgrade system, but you probably won't notice too much with that because it's pretty similar to what we had before. So I will try and cover all the most important bits, but if you do want to read it, I'll be leaving a link in the description down below so you can read it properly because there is absolutely tons in this one. So we're going to start off with the most important changes, which of course is going to be the stamina. So the stamina is different now. When you get exhausted, it slowly ticks up instead of having to tick up all the way until you can go about dodging again. Carry load no longer increases the cost of stamina consuming actions as well. This should result in actions being more consistent in their cost. Armor type no longer increases the cost of some stamina consuming actions such as climbing. However, armor type and your carry load will contribute towards how fast your stamina regenerates and all of that business. And I'll show you in a quick example how long it takes for each and every one. One when you're encumbered, one when you're not, with light, medium and heavy. You should be able to see it up on the screen, and I'll show you the differences between them now. As I mentioned here though, we'll quickly go through it. Your light will be the best for regen, your medium is your second best, and your heavy is the least best. And that will be your stam changes, but there is also some other stam changes to do with shield blocking, and of course we're getting to shield blocking because that's changed as well. So the use of shields has been revamped. When an attacker hits a blocking character or when a defender blocks an attack with a shield, they may enter a rebound stun state. So now whatever's attacking you could get stunned. It's not a definite thing, but they may enter it. So that will be important for PvP. And also important if you're trying to attack thralls that are trying to block you. Blocked attacks now deal stam damage as well, equal to the base health damage. So if you have something that deals a lot of damage, you're trying to use a shield against it, it could be a little bit annoying. However, this could be a good thing as well, because behind the shield, you didn't used to be able to regen stam when you were holding a shield up. It would just stay at the same value. Well, this is different now because when you hold a shield up, the stam will regenerate. Okay, so I've spawned in a guy that's going to help us do some testing. He seemed to be pretty good at it, so he's a good guy. So you can see now when I have my shield up, he's going to bash some stuff out of my stam. But if he gives me a break, which he apparently isn't planning to, this is one of my problems with this system. Because if this thing doesn't get staggered at all, which most things won't when you're fighting it, you won't actually regen that stam. And you might be in danger of losing your blocking with the shield, and you definitely have to stand back. As you can see, this guy's pretty relentless. He is not letting me regenerate any of my stam behind the shield. So, there we go. Let's try it again. See what happens if he reaches 0, if he's going to keep being a bum like this. Alright, so he's going to keep going for me. We're going to reach 5. And he's exhausted me, which now means I cannot do anything, and he's pretty much just nearly killed me. Which is lovely, you know. Nice. I definitely think with this kind of new system, when you have things attacking you so relentlessly, you need a way for them to stun. They need to be stunned. And you could see with all of those attacks, he never got stunned from hitting me at all. Which almost killed me, so yeah, it's good in a way so you regenerate, but also bad in a way because if you have something that constantly hits you and is relentless and you can't get away from it, and all you could do is really block, you're pretty much screwed. And since we're all banged up, I might as well go into my next point of healing wraps. You can now interrupt the animation if you're in trouble, so you can see the full thing didn't go out and I was able to dodge and get out of that animation. So in case you accidentally click on that button, which does happen a lot, then you can get out within the 2.5 seconds of trigger. So you wait a bit, you know, just if you're in that desperate of a situation, you can keep spamming out, or you can use it and heal up as much as you can before the boss comes towards you, then you dodge and you exit the animation instead of being forced to do the whole animation until you're hit. They also fixed an issue with the charged bow shots that cause less damage than intended after having unlocked the flattening shot accuracy perk. So if you found problems with the accuracy and you couldn't get this flattening shot, well, you had it above flattening shot, you weren't getting that additional damage, well, now you should be able to get the damage. They also have their building fix, so let's say if I wanted to upgrade certain building pieces, so I got a nice foundation down there, I want to upgrade it to something else, I can do that, upgrade it to that, and it won't smash pieces in my face. Will go over just fine, upgrade it to that. And now you can upgrade other pieces of the same class to this foundation without it saying no and denying you. You can go ahead and do that, go back and forth through them all, so you have that now. Also, an issue that's really been bothering me that they fixed, thank goodness for this, was an issue where NPC AI, either enemies, followers, or bosses, was unresponsive in certain underground locations or dungeons. So have you ever had problems in like a place where your thrall just does not pay attention to any of your commands? And hopefully this should now fix that problem, and I've noticed it a lot. It gets very irritating when it happens, because you could be stuck in like a little corner, your thrall blocks you in, and then it's just like, nah, I'm not going to move, you're stuck here forever. It's great. And of course you can't go pick up your thrall and replace it because you're in a dungeon and you can't do that, so that's always nice, you know. So thankfully they have changed that one. And then they also have the explosive jars no longer block NPC pathfinding, so if you were using that trick on ley shrines to knock out thralls at the top and using the explosive jars to block that, that is now a thing that will not be a thing for you. Another one I really like in this one, thralls and followers should no longer teleport on top of the player while climbing, causing over-encumbrance, death, or general distress. As the person has said here, because that's a tiny bit rude. And that was a big problem in our last patch, so that is lovely that they've tried to fix that. Another thing with them as well is they should no longer teleport or move so close there's no space for you to move around. So hopefully you won't have your horse going up your arse anymore. And then also similar with that as well, your thrall should not push you down the stairs anymore either. They also did rebalance the Yogg's Touch, so the change is intended to bring Yogg's Touch to the point where it offers a unique gameplay style for one-hand axe users without being completely overpowered compared to other one-hand axes in its class. So they've changed this to the 51 health damage and the 28 armor pen, which is still pretty good for a one-hand axe. They've also in this patch actually slightly lowered some stats for the ancient weapons in there, and they've also reduced the weight of wraps to 0.1. Thankfully, if you're on Scepter as well, the storm now has no effect on mount endurance by default, so thank goodness for that. And they've set up the storm startup and dissipation time to now be by 1 minute by default. They have also rebalanced reward changes and costs of Eldarium recipes, so players are now guaranteed a reward when delving an Eldarium item, but the costs of crafting them has increased from 20 to 50. So we got our good old delving bench, because I just want to see this, because of course if you've ever done delving, you know you get a lot of wastage out of this. So you can see I definitely got one for that one. Will I get one for this one? 100%. So 100% of the time now you should get a recipe for every one that you craft, but it's going to be more expensive, which is actually something I completely agree with. I'm completely fine with this method. It's much better than the old one, and it now means that I can now not have to grind like hundreds of these blooming things and then just get like 1 or 2 of these recipes. Finally, I can just use a little bit more of this and always have a recipe guaranteed. So this is actually really extremely good news for Scepter, of course. There's also a few mini weapon fixes as well. So Graceful Knight legendary weapon now drops with full durability. Hammer of Thag now correctly provides strength bonus, and carry weapons now grant the intended bonus attributes. They were bugged before, so they could be worth using now. Also, something for you naughty ones out there, the endowment and chest and breast sliders are now accessible in the character recustomization through the Orb of Nigel. So basically just the vanity table. There's also been a ton of UI and text fixes, which of course is all very great, but I'm not going to read every single one of them out because, as you can see, there is a lot, so much so that it fills my entire screen up, and well, it's a lot of fixes, and of course you can see them for yourself. And spelling mistakes, I don't know if it interests you, but it definitely doesn't interest me. But as you can see, lots and lots of fixes, which is always lovely to see. We always go on about wanting them to fix more things or make things better. So hopefully this patch provides that, and hopefully I think I would like some more maybe stunning ways in the future where we don't get NPCs or bosses just constantly smacking into us. They at least need some kind of stunning effect where we can at least, at least have some time to either attack them or, do some proper damage, or at least step back and heal a bit when they're just having their little dizzy effect or something. That would be great. Because at the moment with the shields, and if you have something persistent as that guy I showed you earlier, well, it's pretty damn crap. But anyway, pretty good patch as itself. Remember, if you're a server and then you have lots of mods, you might want to hold off updating your server and let those mods update first, and then go ahead and launch your server. Otherwise, with a big patch like this, it could break a few mods. So anyway, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.